All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna pull up my presentation and then I'm gonna stop and ask to make sure it's up there. So if you can see my presentation start, can you just put your thumbs up so that I know it's, okay, perfect. Sometimes I'll share a screen and I'll think it's the right screen and then the kids are like, Ms. Holmes, we can't see what you're talking about. So I always like to check. Okay, so I'm Nicole Holmes. My name is Nicole Holmes. I'm Ms. Holmes. A little bit about me. I have a bachelor's degree in liberal studies from Stanislaus State. And I also have my master's in educational technology, which is really coming in handy this year. So I'm really grateful that I have that background, and I think it's helped me figure out how to navigate the distance learning thing and make it a productive time for our class. This is my 14th year of teaching. So this is my, let's see, 7th year of 5th grade. All right, I'm gonna show a video. I'm gonna show all of the parents a video of where your student can get on or your child can get on to all of our Zoom sessions.
Okay, this video is going to show you how to access the Zoom links to get onto all of our class sessions. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your Clever page. So here's your Clever page, and on your Clever page, you'll find favorite resources and teacher pages. So this is where you're going to want to go under your Clever page. You're going to go to your teacher page. You're going to click it. And then it's going to bring you here. Okay. And you can see here are all of our Zoom sessions. So all you have to do is find the time down at the bottom. They're all labeled for you. So here's our 8:30 Zoom link. Here's our 10:35 Zoom link. Here's our 12:20 Zoom link, our 1:50 Zoom link, and our 2:20 Zoom link. So you're going to find the time that you need to enter, and then you're going to click on that link, and it's going to bring you right to our Zoom session. Okay. The other way to find our Zoom sessions is on our class website. So you can also get to that from Clever under My Page, and this little icon right here is our class website. So if you click on class website, it's going to bring you to our classroom website. And I have a calendar here posted of all of our Zoom links, okay? And next to them are the times that those Zoom links go on. So under Monday, August 17th, here are all of our Zoom links. Same thing for Tuesday, Wednesday. And if I go on, all of the Zoom links are going to be there, okay? And this calendar will update every day or every time I post a link to it, okay? So one other place where you can find our Zoom links to get into class would be in your Google Classroom. So if you go to Google Classroom, I don't think it's going to let me in that way. So I'll go to let me sign in here. I'm going to hit my waffle, go to Classroom. You can also get your Classroom on Clever. It should let you right in. So the first subject that we will be visiting in the morning is reading comprehension. So you're going to want to go to reading comprehension first thing in the morning. And our schedule, I'll be posting our Zoom links right on Classroom. Okay, so that is another place that you can access Google Classroom, or our Zoom link is on Google Classroom. All right, so you would just follow the link to join the Zoom meet.
All right. So I'm going to go over our class expectations while on Zoom sessions. And I have to say, the kids are doing amazing. They're doing a really great job. So I know I have a really great class this year. So the expectation is that they log in a few minutes early, or at least by 8:35 to our first Zoom session, and then on time to the other Zoom sessions throughout the day. So we have breaks in between our ELA and our math. So they log out and then they take their break and then they log back in. And this is really important, especially in the morning when I take attendance. Typically in a regular classroom setting, it does not take me that long to take attendance. I've found, like last week, I think the first day it took me about 30 minutes to take attendance, just because it's hard not to be able to see the students face to face and see who's there. And so I'm getting better at it. It's starting to take me not as long, but it really helps if they're logged in early. If they're not logged in early, they're marked absent, and then they might receive a phone call home. So if it's a problem with technology and maybe your internet's not working, just send me a little text on Remind so that I know and I don't mark them absent. And then I've told the students not to have their cell phones out during learning sessions, just like they're not supposed to have them out in class when we're in a regular classroom setting. And then not to log on to our Zoom links on the cell phone, because although you can do that on the cell phone, the students really need their Chromebooks so that they can access everything that we're doing. That's hard to do on a cell phone, so they need their Chromebooks so that they can get into Google Drive, they can go onto Wonders and be able to do all of the things that we're doing. I've told the students no music or background noise. It's distracting to not only them, but the rest of the class, especially when they unmute themselves to ask a question. A lot of background noise is really distracting. Sometimes I'm finding that the internet lags a little bit or a lot with question asking. So we're really getting more into, I'm having the students answer questions that I ask, or ask me questions if I can't understand them. Because of the lag of internet, I'll have them do it in the chat feature of Zoom, and that's working pretty good. So I've talked to the students about making sure they're in an appropriate place to do their distance learning. A place that's a little bit quieter, there's not a lot of noise going on. And I know parents, this is probably difficult if you have more than one child at home, doing distance learning. But it's important that they're able to focus too. And then the kids are really great at this. They're staying engaged, they're staying on task. So they're doing an amazing job of being engaged in what we're doing. And then, just using appropriate academic language during questions and discussions, and they're doing a great job with that too. So I've also asked the students, and we're still kind of getting the hang of this, that when they log in, they need to have their username as their first and last name, and that helps me also with attendance. But it's easier for me to call on somebody when I know their name, and it's not like this long number. So we're kind of working on, I'm trying to show the students how, when they log in, to click on their name and pull up the rename feature and put in their first and last name. All right, so independent work, homework, and tech issues. It kind of all goes along with it, kind of is all in the same kind of train of thought. So every week in ELA, the students will get a daily 5 menu. And that's going to give them their assignments on ELA for each day. So Monday through Thursday, there's a little box, and it shows them what assignments they need to do for each little daily 5. So in daily 5, there's work on writing, listen to reading, read to self, where am I? I'm losing my train of thought. Word work and read to a partner. All of their assignments are on there. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but there would be an example of what Monday would look like. And I'll pull this up on here so you can see it as well. If something happens where they can't, where the internet goes down and they can't go online to access what we're doing, they have all of their ELA books at home. They have their workbooks. They have their, there's 2 workbooks for ELA. All they have to do is get onto this, and all of the page numbers are on here. All of the assignments are listed. So they can still continue to do their work if their internet goes down for the day. In Eureka Math, we'll be doing the lessons in order. So math is kind of a harder thing if internet goes down, just because the students rely a lot on the instruction to be able to understand and do the math. I will always post videos on my website for them, which that doesn't help if the internet goes down, but if you have a cell phone and you're able to get them onto my website, you can watch those videos. So there usually will be 2 videos, one by a man named Dwayne Habecker. He has a video for all of the Eureka Math lessons. I'll post that one, and then I'll post one that I've made, so that they have 2 different resources to watch. And then another great resource for math, if internet goes down, is in their Succeed. I always get them backwards. Succeed, I think, has the homework, and Learn has the problem set. It's one or the other, but where they have their homework set, there is a whole 2 pages, sometimes 1 page, that walks them through how to work the math problems. So that always works. And then if internet does end up, if you're having tech issues or your internet does end up going down, just go ahead and send me a message on Remind, and I'll try to help figure out what to do, or give you resources that your child can use to continue working if that happens. So homework, they're not going to have much homework unless they don't use the class time that I give them to finish their independent practice. In that case, then they will have to finish that outside of class time. So what I always tell the students is, it's going to depend on you. You have to use your time efficiently, and you have to stay focused and do your work. And if they do that, they're not going to have homework. The exception would be on Wednesdays. We log out at 10:35, and so I will give them work to do until about 11:40, when they would normally go to lunch. Okay. And then in science and social studies, we do a lot of project-based learning. So they will get the directions for those projects at the beginning of a unit, and they will be able to work on those without internet. All right. Online resources. The best online resource is Clever. It has everything really they need to access on Clever. There's a link to their Google Classroom on there. There's links to resources that we use, such as Khan Academy, and that they would find that on that little teacher page where you saw on the video where I was kind of navigating. There's the link to my classroom website is also on Clever. So Clever is a really great resource. We use a lot of Freckle for math. So I know a lot of the students have shared with me that they really struggle in math. If you want your student to have extra practice outside of class time, that would be a great resource for them to use and to work on, because it works at their level. It gives them an initial assessment, and then if they're having problems solving, whatever concept they're working on, it'll pop up videos for them. I want to navigate really quick to my classroom website and show you This is also a really great resource just because I keep it updated. I have all of our calendars on here, so you'll be able to get on and you'll be able to see what's due in their, in each subject. So over here on the side, you'll see all of the different subjects that we learn during the day. So for like English language arts, we have reading, and then we have writing and grammar. This would be our calendar for reading comprehension. So as I post different assignments and I put due dates on them, they're going to post on this calendar, and this calendar will stay updated as I post in Google Classroom. Here is the daily 5 that I was talking about. So you can see by each box, there's an assignment. And all of these assignments are assigned on Wonders just because they can turn them in digitally on Wonders. But all of these assignments they can also do in their workbooks that were sent home. And they have access to all of these stories that are listed on here in their hardback ELA books. And so each week we'll get a daily 5 menu, and they'll be able to work on that. And in fact, that's what they'll be doing during independent work time. And then math. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Here's the calendar for math. This is where I'll be posting assignments and due dates for our math. But here is the Dwayne Haubecker video for today's lesson. And then here's the video that I made. It's an interactive, I call them interactive math notebook videos. It's basically the concept that we're working on, but it's on a video so that if maybe your child got a little bit lost during the instruction during class time, they can get back onto this video and they can access the instruction at their own pace. They can stop it, they can pause it, they can take their notes, they can stop, they can look at their notes, they can resume it, they can go back. So I'll be posting these on here as well. And these will be posted in Classroom too. Science and social studies, as we start our units, you'll have, once again, they'll be posted in Google Classroom, so you'll see them on the calendar, and then there'll be more directions as I give them. I'll post them onto the website. The same thing for social studies. We have our calendar, and as I post different assignments or projects that we're working on, all of that will be on the webpage. So this worked really well for PE today. I have all of the videos up for the week that we'll be doing in PE. I told the students when it was PE time, okay, you need to find a space where you can kind of move around a little bit. And then I pulled up the video for Monday, and the students were able to do PE that way. It worked really well. I just need to fix this. We don't do PE on Wednesdays. We'll be doing PE on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this is where they can find their PE. And then we do what's called Toolbox at Turlock Unified. It's a way for students, it's the social emotional learning. And so on my quiet, safe place, and we really haven't gotten into this yet, but this is a place where they can go for some different resources, like if they're upset and they need like maybe a guided meditation time or guided breathing. There's one for relaxing breathing. There's one for worry. So sometimes I'll pop on these and on here and do these myself, and they actually really do help to kind of calm you down or de-stress you. All right, let me go back to the slides. So that is my classroom website. It's just a really good resource for you to be able to get on and see what we're doing, and it's kept updated. All right. Okay, so the schedule is a work in progress. Right now we're doing pretty much all day whole group, and that's because I'm really trying to get the students used to getting onto the different sites, showing them the tools on the different sites. Like today we did a lot on Wonders, but within Wonders, when they pull up an assignment, there's tools that they have to use, and they have to save it, and then they have to submit it. So a lot of what we're doing right now is whole group. Eventually, when the students get more comfortable with the distance learning, it's going to be less whole group time, and there's going to be times where while the students are doing their independent work, like on the Daily 5, or their independent work in math, then I'll pull small groups in, and I'll be able to work with my small groups. So the schedule is a work in progress, and it's going to eventually change from a lot of whole group to our whole group lessons, and then small group instruction afterwards. And that's going to help, that's going to give me the opportunity to be able to reach your child's needs, whether they're, need enrichment or they need a little bit more support in a certain concept. So this is kind of what our daily schedule looks like. So first thing, we do attendance and social emotional learning. Right now, to be honest, it's pretty much all attendance during this time, just because I'm trying to, I'm trying to get better at that. It's taking me a while to get used to taking attendance on Zoom. But oops, let me go back. They fill out a little form at the beginning. They put their first and last name, and then I kind of do a little social emotional check-in with them. How are you feeling today? Do you need to talk about anything? And then if they do, then I'll follow up with them. These look like huge blocks of time, 8:50 to 10:15. But really, that's what I was talking about, is that we'll have a whole group lesson, and then we'll break into small groups where a lot of the students will be doing independent work, and then I'll have a small group that I'm working with on Zoom. So that whole block of time, we won't necessarily be in a whole group lesson. It's like that now, but it's because we're getting used to being at a distance, and I'm trying to get them used to all of the different tools that they're using. And then the same thing with math. Sometimes, like today, we went a few minutes past our break, so I gave them a few minutes. So I think we took our break at like 10:20. So then I gave them a few minutes more to make up for that. I think the same thing with our afternoon break. So if we have a day where we're like finishing something up and we need like maybe 5 more minutes, I might take that from their break, and it might push their break out a little bit further. But typically this is the schedule that we are following. Okay. And then communication-wise, Remind is the best way to get a hold of me, because it's like text messaging me. It pops right up on my phone, and then it makes it easy for me to respond back. You can also call me on Remind, and it sends it straight to my cell phone. And if I can't answer, if you have a concern and you need to talk to me, and you need to call me on Remind, and I can't answer, just leave the voicemail and I will call you back as soon as I can. There is also my school email. I'll tell you though, right now I'm locked out of that, but they're trying to get me in, and I got a new password today, but I haven't been able to log in on my phone, so I need to get onto the computer and see if it'll work on the computer. If not, then I need to call the tech desk back. So probably for the next couple of days, don't email me, go ahead and remind me, or message me on Remind. And then I know that when we're in a session, it's really easy to kind of pop in and say, hey, Ms. Holmes, if you have a question or concern, basically, I'm going to ask you guys just to, I know it's really hard as parents not to want to pop in there and ask a question, but just if you could message me on Remind so that it doesn't kind of disrupt our learning session, I would really appreciate that. I have my phone by me because I also get text messages from the office when students aren't able to get into my Zoom session. And so I have to have my phone by me. And so I'll get your messages as soon as they pop up, and if it's an emergency, I'll take a minute to respond to you. So I think that's the end of our slide. So I'm gonna stop the share, and then if you have questions, I can answer them for you. Do you have any questions or concerns? No? Nobody has questions? Well, if you do, you're always welcome to shoot me a message on Remind. And I really appreciate that oh, we do have a question. Okay. You can unmute. Just go ahead and unmute yourself, and then you can.
I was curious about vocabulary words. I saw in the Google Classroom some of the assignments need vocabulary words, and Logan couldn't remember where those were.
Oh, the vocabulary words are, yeah, those will be posted in Google Classroom under reading comprehension. And we didn't get to them today, so they're probably, the assignment's probably not posted up there, but that's part of our word work activity. So typically they'll have a folder with word work activities, and they'll be working with those vocabulary words every day, just so that they get used to those vocabulary words, and it gives them more exposure to using them, and they really get a grasp of what the definitions are and how they can use them in different contexts.
I'm sorry, could you say again, they're in the Google Classroom under what?
They'll be in Google Classroom under reading comprehension.
Oh, in there, okay. Under classwork, like?
Yes, under assignment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's classwork on their end.
Great. And could I see the daily schedule slide again, please? I had almost written all that down.
Yes. Let me pull that up here. And oops. I'm going to share the screen again. Here, I'll present it so it's big.
Great. And so like you were saying earlier, we really don't need to worry about homework unless there's technical difficulties with internet or whatever, or they don't finish it in class.
Right, yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I was just encouraging Logan to mark it as turned in so that I'll know that he actually finished it in class. Because I was going through it today and marking, turned in or whatever. So we know if we need to do some homework or not, because I'm not sure if he's getting it done in class or not. How is that a good way to know if he just have him mark it as turned in the classroom?
Yes, if it's turned in, then he's probably turned it in to me. Is that what you were asking?
And yes, I just want to know if he's completed it fully or not, because he just wants to be done with school when he's logged out. He doesn't want to do much more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and typically I'm kind of checking in with them during the day. Like today, we did a couple of assignments. We did like a grammar assignment on Wonders. We did a spelling, and then I was able to go back in and I could see who had submitted and who hadn't. So then I told the students after PE, okay, if you've already submitted these, then you're done. If you haven't, then you need to continue working until you have submitted them.
Okay. And like as a way as a parent to know for sure if it's been submitted?
Sure, right.
Google Classroom, right?
So I can, so for ELA, can you see my Clever screen? Is it pulling up? Okay, just making sure, because sometimes I'll switch to a different screen and it doesn't show it for some reason. So I always like to check in. So I'm going to log on to our Wonders. Our curriculum for ELA is called Wonders. And I'm going to show you on the student screen how you can see if they still have assignments. So this is what their student screen looks like. And under this to do button, that's where their assignments
to do.
So right here, current work, That's going to show you what work he has to do or he hasn't done. Now this week is a little bit different because it's taking longer because I'm showing them assignment by assignment. Typically, a lot of the things like the spelling, the grammar, I would go over it briefly and then they would do it independently, or we would work on it in small group. But, you know, I'm really having to go slow and pull up an assignment and show them, okay, these are the tools that we're using and this is how you save it, this is how you submit it. So this week, there's probably going to be a lot of assignments that don't get done every day on our daily 5 schedule, and that's okay, I know that. It's not going to count against them this week. I just want to start them on the schedule so that they know what we're going to be doing, but I want to support them enough so that they are used to, they know when they come in here, they're gonna pull something up and they know exactly what to do with it. So if there are assignments on there that aren't completed, it's because we didn't get to them today, and that's okay. So, but typically, yes, this is where you would come to look to see if there are any assignments that haven't been submitted on Wonders. All right, okay, so I'm gonna, okay. So are there any other questions? It looks like someone else has their hand up. You can unmute and ask if you. If you have a question, you can just go ahead and unmute.
So I had a question.
Okay.
The Chromebook isn't working that well. We've already gotten another one, so he's using my laptop. He says he can't hear very well and it lags a lot. Is this just what it is, and he just needs to, or is that?
That doesn't sound right. He should be able to hear. Lagging would be like more of an internet problem, but if the Chromebook isn't working properly, then it's you probably want to bring the Chromebook to the office and have them check it out for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or concerns that I can answer? No? Before you log out, if you could just use the chat feature to kind of tell me your name and then your child's name so that I can log everyone in, I would really appreciate that. And I appreciate that you joined our session. And if you ever have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to message me on Remind or email me, whatever's easier for you. Just don't email me in the next couple of days until my email's up and running because I don't know that I'll get it. So, all right. And if there are no other questions, then you can go ahead and log out. If you have a question and you just want to stay on after, you're welcome to do that too. Thank you. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Ms. Holmes. My name's Elizabeth. I'm Samuel Lake's mom, and I just wanted to say thank you for holding this session tonight. I'm sure it's been a long day for you. I wanted to echo what the other mom was saying earlier. I think one of our challenges as a parent is just trying to figure out, you know, if we need to do extra checking of completed assignments or if we need to intervene in any way. And you might have noticed that our son is kind of in a little school pod with another child.
Yes.
And I know it's a little early. I just wanted to check in and see if that's going okay or if that's presenting any problems for you.
No, not at all. It's actually working out good because they help each other. When there's a technical issue, a lot of times Samuel's like, no, this is how you do it. And so that's actually working out pretty well. So I like to stay on top of assignments you know, pretty regularly. If I see, it's always good to check in to Google Classroom or Wonders, but if I see that there's starting to be a pattern of, okay, like 2 assignments aren't turned in, what's going on here, then I'll go ahead and I'll message on Remind as well. And I'll say, I'm not sure what's going on, but, you know, these assignments aren't turned in, or, you know, I'll check in with the student first, and then I'll check in with the parent as well. So I also try to communicate with parents as I see that happening, so that your child doesn't get really far behind and have all of these assignments that they, you know, oh, I didn't do, and now I'm like completely overwhelmed because I have all of these assignments I need to turn in. So I'll check in with you as well if I start to see assignments aren't being done or submitted.
That's perfect. Thank you. Can you give me your Remind code one more time? I didn't get a chance to write it down.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you again so you can see it. All right, here you go. Can you see, did it bring it up for you?
Yes, I got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, well, if there are no other questions or concerns, I just want to thank you again for joining our session. And like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I know this is kind of a difficult, stressful time for everyone. So I'll try to help and support as much as I can on my end. And have a good evening.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.